But we talk about some things that can be harder to talk about too. But it's helpful and it's important to talk with our next guests, Carmen Colao, the Executive Director of Catholic Cemeteries, and Nancy Weil, the Director of Grief Support. And we're talking about Catholic cemeteries, and we're talking about people's wishes for their funerals and their burial. Like I said, tough thing to talk about, but absolutely necessary. And a wonderful gift you can give the next generation when they understand what it is you want. And that's what we're trying to do, is open up dialogue, right, Carmen?
Exactly. We want to talk to families, and it's not exactly the easiest topic for people to discuss. It's something that we all need to deal with sooner or later, and we're just trying to see if we can get that conversation started sooner. You know, the month of May, people start thinking about, you know, cemeteries. It's Memorial Day, and we have several masses that take place later in the month, but we want to get a conversation started, and it's much easier in a setting like this where people can think clearly and talk about the options that we have to offer for Catholic burial.
And there are a lot of there's a lot of issues to talk about. First of all, pre-planning can save you a lot of money, and you really have a lot of say in what your own funeral will be like. How about cremation? Have you thought of that? What about some of the veterans programs that are out there? And for all this, I'm happy to let people know you have a free planning guide that you can in your own time, in your own privacy, you can bring up all these issues with each other and get all those questions answered.
You know, we've tried through various means. We have presentations we make. We go into parishes and different things that we do to try and inform our families. And the planning guide itself, and if they call our office, we will send them a complimentary planning guide. It has a lot of information that hopefully answers a lot of the questions they have. But in this type of a scenario, it is. You can sit down and in many cases, depending on the options that they choose, whether it's cremation or traditional burial, and we have various options, many options for families, and it's a lot easier now to do it because we do have, even though it sounds a little business-like, we have time plans, interest-free financing plans for people, low down payments, and it's a lot easier now, as I said, where they can actually really take a look at the options. There are many options, and there's so many questions to be answered. Unfortunately, if a death occurs and they haven't made that selection, it's so much easier if they do it now.
Well, that way, you know, let's say if a parent of the children understand what the parents' wishes were. You're not always wondering for the rest of your life, did I do the right thing? And Nancy, we talk about too that cemeteries are for the living. You have a lot of programs, whether it's grief sharing or open houses, monthly masses. It's amazing how alive those cemeteries actually are.
They really are. Our cemeteries have so many people coming for many reasons. We have all the time people, of course, visiting their loved ones, but we have people who come just to walk and to exercise. Our grief support programs. We actually have a potluck dinner in the office at Mount Olivet Cemetery, and one of the people who comes, she says she doesn't want to tell people she's going to a cemetery for dinner. So she says she's eating at Café du Mont Olivet when she comes for dinner.
That's a great attitude.
To be with other people, because as one said at one of our dinners, she said, you don't know what it means not to eat home alone one more night. And we come
when
together.
you put that in your notes, that's what really got me, you know, when I was preparing for this segment. And the thing is that you do have programs, you do have places for people to meet who are going through that. You don't have to do it alone.
Correct.
If you choose not to. Grief support, you have something called the Lazarus Lecture Series, Heavenly Hearts Choir, a drum circle, Western New York day trips, men's cards and conversation, and certainly grief support. It's amazing what you do.
Yeah, we have the most comprehensive grief support program anywhere in this country. We're really proud of our program. We try to make sure that we can help people wherever they're at emotionally. They may not be comfortable in a traditional grief support group, but the men will get together and play cards and have a sandwich together.
Right.
And it's still grief support.
Yeah.
It's still grief support. We've been to the Frank Lloyd Wright House, we've gone to plays, we've gone to movies, we've been to the Basilica together. We're together. And that's the important thing.
And I just, from what I read, I understand that really the burial is not the end of your services for people. You continue on with the living to get them through this part of their lives, and even then you're helping them get through their grief. It's amazing.
Everything we do is for our loved ones,
Yeah.
our families, and they're coming to our cemeteries, whether it's our monthly masses. Memorial Day on the 24th and 26th of this month, we have 6 masses taking place over the weekend. They're very well attended. You mentioned we mentioned the Veterans Program. We, in conjunction with both Erie and Niagara counties, we are part of the Thank a Vet program. Various businesses and organizations that are offering discount programs for our veterans as a way of thanking them for the sacrifices that they've made for us. So our Memorial Day masses are especially so important and give families an opportunity. But families come for various reasons to our cemeteries. They find solace in coming and being close to where their loved ones are buried, and whether it's genealogy or just wanting to come if it's a nice day and they want to sit and think. It's a place that many families have become very comfortable with in coming to.
And people should understand, you really make this experience a little less scary for people, because now they have their answers. They know they're doing what their parents wanted, or anybody that they love who they talked this through with. And the nice thing is that you can leave them with so much great information to peruse it at your leisure, and then make intelligent choices and something that's within your budget, and things that they are your wants, and everybody's unique. And so by all means, this is the time to take a look at this information and make your decisions now. Receive your free planning guide. You can call Catholic Cemeteries and get it at 873-6500, and please also request a grief support packet, because these wonderful people are there for you before, during, and after. Please log on to buffalocatholiccemeteries.org, or again, call the number 873-6500.